Hey everyone, welcome to anyone who can join today. But this video is for Black women in toxic jobs. We know that toxic jobs is a global issue. And unfortunately, Black women, we often experience the brunt of this global issue that is impacting so many of us, being harmed in the workplace, having our sleep stripped from us, which I'm going to talk about today, being burned out, right? Physically, mentally, spiritually, just not having any energy to do anything to pour back into ourselves. So, I want to introduce the Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women, which I will be co hosting with Dr. Kamani Norrington Sands, who is a licensed clinical psychologist. We'll be hosting this May 18th through 19th, and it is a 2-day event, and registration is now open. You can go to jobliberation.heysummit.com to purchase your ticket. But in this impromptu live, I just wanted to talk about some of our sessions that we're going to be having at the summit. The first I want to talk about is what job burnout looks like. So day one of the summit is really going to be focused on healing, right? How do you reclaim your dream space, your sleep? I'm going to be talking about insomnia in this live today. But we know that this is real, right? And I can speak for myself being in a toxic job, really dealing. Hey, welcome, miscellaneous AB. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, so being in a toxic job, right, robs us of these things, our natural abilities to sleep, sometimes to eat. I know that's something I dealt with, not even having an appetite because I was so stressed at this job that was supposed to be my dream job. Right. And this is the case for a lot of us. We put all of this time and effort, energy into securing these degrees, these certifications to put on our resumes. When we finally get the job we've been going after, we've done all these things, we've proven to be the best at all of it. Now, all of a sudden, we're exposed to even more harm and we're kind of caught off guard. And that brings me to another one of the sessions on day two. And day two is really kind of the practical exit planning. If you are still in a toxic job, if you are looking to get your financial plan together, right? That keeps a lot of us in toxic situations. The fear around money, which is intentionally created within these systems that we live in, right? That we didn't consent to, but that we're kind of forced to grapple with the ramifications of it. So living within like a capitalist system, we know that we have to make money, but that doesn't mean we have to stay in toxic environments. And that doesn't mean that we can take our skill set that we have gained from jobs and use it to work for ourselves. That is what I have done as a social worker in the economic development field, kind of transition to entrepreneurship, helping Black women start and grow online businesses through my business that I founded, Free Black Woman Virtual Solutions. And Dr. Kamani, we will both be leading a session on how to take your existing skill set that you already have, because I guarantee you already have a list of skills that you have that you may not even know. Because one of the things of being in a toxic job, right, you can completely forget everything that you've accomplished. That is something that happened to me, right? I'm having to remind myself, girl, you've done a lot. I had to go back and look at my resume and realize all the things that I have done, right? All of the jobs I've had, the skills I've gained. In education settings throughout my life, all of these things that we can tend to forget. Hey, S. Taylor, welcome, welcome. Yes, if y'all are here, please feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat so we can say hello. Right now, I'm just talking about some of our sessions at the upcoming Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women happening May 18th and 19th. This is going to be a 2-day summit that is going to be life-changing, specifically for Black women who are currently in toxic jobs and looking to exit plan or really understand what's happening to your body, your sleep, which is one of the sessions I'm going to be talking about with Dr. Robin. She will be hosting that session, how to begin to heal from insomnia. Insomnia is so real. I was not able to sleep for a large portion right after the job I was in became toxic because it didn't initially start out as toxic. I was not able to sleep. So I would be there laying in bed, right? Rumination is so real when someone has harmed you and you feel it's actually real that you can't speak up in a lot of these environments. Let's be real about that. It's not even like what you feel. Hey, Marissa. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Nikki, hello. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, so yeah, in these environments, right? That's real. That's real. And I know being a social worker, right? One of the things, like, if you have started therapy, and unfortunately, this can be the case, right? Not every therapist is the same. But when you share these experiences, sometimes they will ask you, like, are you sure that this happened? Right? Are you imagining it in a different way? No, I was not able to speak up in this environment. And that's real. So it's really giving your feelings, your experiences validity. You were not able to speak up in these environments. So that created rumination often, which affected your sleep and led to insomnia, because you're supposed to be able to express what you're feeling when you're being harmed. But these situations, these structures that we're in don't allow that all the time. So one of the sessions on day one of the summit, again, the Job Liberation Virtual Summit is a 2-day summit happening May 18th and 19th. And registration is now open. You can go to jobliberation.heysummit.com to purchase your ticket. Yeah, one of the sessions, like I said, start healing from insomnia. How do we get back our ability to sleep well again? If we are still in a toxic environment, how do we build boundaries as best as we can while we are planning our exit? Because one of the things we want to emphasize is very hard, I'll say impossible, to really heal from what you've experienced when you're still in that environment, because you're going to continue to be harmed. Those wounds are still going to be continued to be reopened as you're in the healing process. But there are ways that you can begin to put boundaries in place to reclaim some of your wellness while you are planning your exit, because we know it's not an overnight thing. The way these structures and systems are set up, it takes time sometimes to get your plan together, to get your money right. Dr. Roche will be hosting a session on day 2 of the summit, how to get your money right to leave a toxic job. If that is one of your fears and worries, that's real. And believe me, I had the same thing. I still deal with that. And it's only through me listening, learning, educating myself from other Black women about how to go about this, how to do this entrepreneurship thing, that I am able to continue. So this is the knowledge we are going to be sharing with you at the summit. Yeah, thank you. Marissa, these session topics are so thoughtful. Oh, that means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we intentionally curated this summit. Sorry if y'all can hear the background noise, but yeah, we intentionally curated the summit to help Black women who are still in toxic jobs, because we know that is real. Sometimes you can't leave often. You can't leave immediately, even if you recognize that this job is toxic. This job is draining the life from me. There's a period where you realize that before you can exit, right? Getting your stuff in place, really unpacking like what happened to you, and then realizing that you have the ability to pivot. Sometimes there's a gap between those two. So we wanted to be intentional when planning these sessions and realizing that there's a lot of Black women still in toxic jobs, as well as healing from the aftermath. A lot of us have multiple toxic jobs. So this is for both, right? If you're still in it, or if you're out and you're healing and trying to maybe enter a new job, right, while understanding what happened to you at the old one, we know that bringing the trauma that you experienced in a past job, relationship, or whatever into a new one can sometimes muddy that new experience, because you haven't had the chance to heal from what you've gone through. And those wounds are very deep. So we're going to be walking you through that. Kamisha L. Jones, LCSW, who is a therapist, and she runs a community mental health agency specifically for Black women in Chicago. She will be talking about healing from the mental health impacts of toxic jobs on day 1 of the summit. So I'm really looking forward to this session, because like I said, I'm still healing. I'm still healing from the mental health impacts of what I went through, and probably will be for some time to come, right? Having what I thought was my dream job kind of disintegrate before my eyes, and realizing all the things that I went through. I'm only now at the point being able to unpack. Oh my gosh, that was a lot. That was a lot that you went through without a lot of support, right? Without a lot of people that you thought would be there for you, weren't. And the trauma of that, the impact of that, really hampers your ability to move forward in new situations that don't require those same trauma responses. But because you haven't had a chance to heal, maybe you haven't had time to sit with what really happened to you, because we know this world moves at such a fast pace due to these systems, these oppressive systems that we live in. It moves at an inhuman pace, so we don't even have time to sit with how we were traumatized. That's actually a privilege in this society. So if you are still trying to understand the mental health impacts of toxic jobs, how did it impact your brain, your nervous system, being in this toxic environment? You'll want to check out the summit, because Kamisha L. Jones, again, LCSW, is going to be leading a session on healing from the mental health impacts of toxic jobs on day one of the summit. And day one is really focused on understanding what's happening to us, detoxing. Stephanie Perry is going to kick off the summit talking about her book, Job Detox, and how Black women can begin to detox from everything that we've experienced and take our wellness back. So she's going to be kicking us off. We're going to be talking about, again, what job burnout looks like. Kira will be leading that session. Kira of Designing Ease, who she packed up her house, she sold her house, and she moved out of the country to Guadalajara after experiencing a very toxic job, which she spoke about on Dr. Kamani's channel, that really impacted her physical health, her mental health, and just left her drained. So she completely changed her life. And she's going to share with us like the signs of job burnout and how she made that life transformation, so that we can learn from her story on day one. Like I said, Dr. Robin, who is a sleep expert, will be walking us through how to start sleeping well again and healing from insomnia, to reclaim our sleep space, to be able to sleep through the night, to be able to heal from those experiences of rumination. If someone harmed you and you were not able to speak up, that can impact how we sleep. So we're going to be talking about that on day one. And the lovely Alicia Renice is going to be ending us on day one with how to reclaim your dream space and creativity to heal from a toxic job. That was one of the pivotal points, right? Coming across Alicia's community, the garden, and joining that, and realizing that I am creative. I have the ability to imagine different ways of living outside of what was given to me, of being in this very robotic corporate structure that didn't allow me to express my creativity, right? My full gifts. There is a way to do that, to dream of new ways to live. A lot of the times, toxic jobs will rob you of your ability to imagine new things, of your imagination space, your dream space. How do we reclaim that? Because it's not lost forever. We can go back and reclaim those parts of ourselves that we lost. And that's what we're going to be talking about day one of the summit. Alicia Renice, the artist, is going to be ending us on day one. So I'm excited about that session too. Yeah, so yes, like I said, tickets are now on sale for the Job Liberation Virtual Summit happening May 18th through 19th, specifically for Black women in toxic jobs, currently in toxic jobs, or healing from the aftermath, and ready to understand what happened to you in these jobs and how you can begin to reclaim your wellness. So yeah, I'll be talking more about day two coming up here this week. I'll go live again, but I just wanted to, Maureen Cooper, thank you. Okay, yes, that's amazing that you mentioned insomnia. When I'm working, I suffer from insomnia. Now that I'm on leave, I sleep like a baby. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And can I say that's so real? That is so real. Suffering from insomnia, right? When you are being in these environments that don't allow us to really express ourselves. And I know Alicia did a video recently on anger, right? A Black woman's guide to anger. A lot of us will have been fed the messaging that we have to suppress, because these environments were not safe for us to express our anger, right? But we're human. We're human. Not only are we human, we're living in oppressive systems that make us angry. Of course, we're going to be angry when we're being mistreated. How do we begin to express that anger to ourselves? And sometimes it needs to be expressed to other people, because you're harming me, right? But when we feel that, or when the environment we're in necessitates that we suppress these feelings, that creates things like insomnia. And if you're being overworked, I talked with Jackie Abram on my channel about being treated like a workhorse in a lot of these jobs, given extra tasks, extra roles, DEI positions. We know that Black women, they love to give us all these things outside of what we're being paid to do. And it leads us down a path of burnout and not being able to have time to prioritize our wellness and our health. How do we begin to reclaim that and understand what's happening? Because this is not right. This is not right. It's draining our life force from us. Our life force is far too precious for them to be able to continue to take. So this is really, I'm viewing this as like a freedom movement. Really, just having got back from DC and visited the National Museum of African American History and Culture, which is one of my favorite museums. Seeing like all the depictions, right, of past historical movements led by Black women, freedom movement. This feels like it because we're done. You're not going to continue to mistreat us left and right in these jobs where we don't have energy for ourselves, for our families. We're not able to sleep. Our life force is far too precious, and we're reclaiming that. And so this summit is going to help you do that. We're going to be in community. This is a sisterhood of us understanding what's happening to us, healing from the impacts, and making our exits because we have different options. We have options. They try to convince us that we don't, which is one of the tools of oppression, right? The jobs robbing us of our creativity. Yeah, it's true. It is true. They will rob us of, our life force, right? Our ability to create different things. And that's one of the ways we can heal is reclaiming that and realizing that we were always creative, really coming back into our childhood selves. That has been one of the pivotal ways of healing for me, coming back into who I was as a child. And you'll see I've been sharing, like, as I have been going back and reclaiming those parts of myself, healing from what I experienced in this job, realizing that I was always enough and I was always dope. Even as a child, I was creating all these things, and I can continue to bring that energy into adulthood and imagine new ways outside of these toxic environments, because that's not my only option. That's not my only option. Toxicity? No. So, yes. But yeah, y'all, just coming on here quick, impromptu live to, again, announce registration now open for the Job Liberation Virtual Summit. You can get your ticket at jobliberation.heysummit.com. There are 3 ticket tiers. The first one is general admission, and this will just give you access to all the sessions, but not the replays. You'll want the premium pass to be able to access the replays. We don't have a time limit on the replays as of now, so you'll be able to access those because there's going to be a lot of information being shared. If you don't want to have to like vigorously take notes and you want to be able to go back and watch them, the replays will be available with the second tier. And the third tier, Dr. Roche, who is a financial psychologist, will be leading a special 1-hour financial masterclass the day after the summit. If you want more like individualized support on creating your financial exit plan, that is the third ticket tier. So yeah, I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always send me an email, hello@mpricemsw.com, if any questions come up. But yeah, I would love to see you at the summit. We also have a privacy option. There is a way to change your name within the platform after you register. You can change it to whatever you want. You can just be anonymous. And no participant cameras will be shown. So you don't have to worry about your face being shown if that is a concern. The summit platform does not allow that. So I want to make that clear as well. But I hope this was helpful, y'all. Again, if you're dealing with burnout, insomnia, at a toxic job, mental health impacts, which I speak a lot about on my channel, please know that you're not alone. You're not alone, and we are providing resources that both of us wish that we had as toxic job survivors, because really I didn't even know I was in a toxic job. I thought it was just me, which a lot of us think, right? It's just us isolated experiencing these things, but no, it's actually systemic. And a lot of us are experiencing the exact same things, which is not right. So, yeah, Marissa said, I didn't even know financial psychology was a thing. Yeah, me neither. But yeah, there's a lot of, I guess, as you begin to like unpack money trauma and realize how often a lot of this, again, I hate to keep saying this, but a lot of this is rooted in childhood experiences around money that we carry into adulthood. And we know like the system of capitalism creates a lot of these fears, these very real fears that we live in because it's so restricting, it's so inhuman. So how do we work through those fears and reclaim our agency within a very oppressive system that we live in? Got to be real about that. So yeah. Yeah, but I would love to see y'all at the Job Liberation Virtual Summit happening May 18th or 19th. I will be going live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern with Angela Kanu. We're going to be talking about what really happens when you have time to rest, the memories that may come back, the childhood trauma that may pop up, and what happened for us when we took time off from toxic jobs to be able to begin to heal from what we experienced and what came to the surface. So we're going to be going live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, if y'all can make it. But I appreciate y'all being here. Again, if you have any questions, please email me hello@mpricemsw.com. And yeah, until next time, y'all, I appreciate you being here. Bye.